It's time. It's time. It's time to take it to the next level. It's time. I tell you what, if I wish you could be a fly on the wall when I'm having conversations. Me and Bob Renner are having conversations about where we're heading as an organization. I wish I could have you as a fly on the wall. Everybody could listen in, just listen only. If you only understood where you're sitting right now and the opportunity that you have in front of you, you probably would take more action. You probably would take more action. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share something with you. I got a text from me and Bob. We were talking yesterday a couple times yesterday, and it's funny. One of the original Apple founders, yesterday was his anniversary where he sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800, and that 10% stake right now in Apple is worth about $56 billion. $56 billion his 10% stake would have been in the company, but he decided to not have enough vision and sell it off. Wow. It's funny because I'm sitting there reading, me and Bob are going back and forth, and this is Bob's remark. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read this to you. He sent this to me. We were talking this morning about 7:51, and he said, let me read it to you. Let me read this thing to you. I want to quote him. He sends the post to me. We're talking about Apple and talking about how we're going to be the next Apple and what we can do in the field to drive it. And what he's looking for my role is going to be as far as the leadership in the field to make that happen. But the post was, the quote of the day was, if anyone's having a bad day, remember today in 1976 where Ronald Wayne sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800. And it's now worth $58 million, I think it is, $58 million if I'm reading it right. So it's $800 that he sold off. His 10% stake would have been worth about $58 million. And then Bob goes up and I said, I make a response. I say, wow, dude made a bad decision. He said, yep, people that don't get to work with us are going to make the same bad decision. He said, yep, people that don't get to work with us will be making the same bad decision. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you can take a $300, $50 opportunity, $750 one, and a $1,499 one, and turn it into millions and millions of dollars of revenue, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? I was on the phone last night with the guy that everybody probably knows that played NFL he played at the Baltimore Ravens. He's probably one of the most recognized names in football. He just retired a few years ago. He's on ESPN. We were talking last night on the phone, him and a couple of his business partners, about an opportunity to create NFL income from home. And he said, one of my friends and one of my associates that used to work for me when I owned my own wireless company, he referred him to me. I'm speaking no other than Ray Lewis. He referred him to me to talk about Talk Fusion, about how he could use Talk Fusion to make money first and build his brand second, because the game checks are over. And we're talking to people that don't get this, and we're sitting there worrying about what they think, and waiting for them to get their $300 together. If they understood the vision and where we're at and where we're going, they'd find the money. And we got to do a better job of having big time posture, big time confidence in what we're doing and what we have. Do y'all understand that we have something that Apple doesn't have? The guy sold his stake for $800 is worth $58 million. $58 million. And we're in a company that we have things that they don't have. And you got in for $300, $700, $800, $1,500, whatever level you got in at. And you have an opportunity to turn that type of revenue into millions and millions of dollars of revenue. Because everybody absorbed that? Because every morning I get up, I'm like, man, I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to create more. I got to do more. Does everybody understand the magnitude of where you're sitting right now? You have one of those opportunities in your life that we'll never get it back. We'll never get this opportunity again. I don't believe in my career I'll never get an opportunity like I have today and where I'm sitting. I'm going to open up the lines and everybody understand. Do you understand where you're at? Do you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. That's why we're not going.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first thing I saw. That's why we're not going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let me ask you a question. Knowing where you're sitting right now in a position to create major transfer of wealth for your family, how many times yesterday did you ask the question, hey, knowing what you know now about Apple and Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Microsoft, if you could have got involved before those companies exploded, would you have got involved? How many times did you pose that question yesterday? I'm going to open the lines back there.
Not enough.
How many times? How many times?
3 times. Not enough.
Not enough.
Times.
Not enough. 3 times.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Knowing what you know about where you're sitting in the company, what's stopping you from just picking up the phone, emailing everybody you know, calling everybody you know, people that you don't know? Why would you guard it? Why wouldn't you just release it to the world and say, I'm going to let it rip? I have nothing to lose. I remember when I was living in the projects and people were laughing. I said, I want to be a millionaire. And my friend said, man, are you on drugs or something? You keep talking about being a millionaire, man. You don't even have furniture in your house. But I believed I was. I believed it. And it's funny because when I started saying it over and over again, I had a couple of my friends, they started believing it. They said, man, I think you will. I think you will. I think it's going to happen. See, right now, we're right where our belief has put us. So you pose the question as many times as your belief in what we're doing allows you to. Think about that for a second. You pose the question as many times as your belief allows you to yesterday. And I'm going to open the lines back up. Does everybody understand where we're heading? Do you understand what we got?
Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes sir.
Are you taking massive action? Are you taking massive action? How many people did you have? How many people are you going to guess that you're going to have on the broadcast today at 12, 4, 7, and 9? Knowing what you know about where you're inside the company. Knowing what you know now about where you're at. How many three-way calls? There's people on this call I haven't heard from in weeks on the three-way call. I haven't heard from them in days. They said they're going diamond. I haven't heard from them for weeks. My question to everybody is, do you get it? Do you get what we're talking about? Do you understand the positioning of where we're at? Google doesn't have what we have. Apple doesn't have what we have. Microsoft doesn't have what we have. You're sitting in a chair of prosperity, man. That's why I don't care who. I'm talking to anybody that's breathing. Because everybody, when I pose the question, they all have the same answer. Absolutely, I would get in. Absolutely. So why wouldn't I say it 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, 30 times a day? Why wouldn't I? Why would I just say 1 or 2 times? Why would I just make it just when it's convenient for me? Why wouldn't I just take it and release it to the world and say, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. But the one thing I can't control is how many people I talk to and what I say and what type of attitude I have when I'm saying it. So just focusing on what you can control. I can control it, what I say, how I say it, and who I say it to. You can too. You can too. So is today the day that you're really going to take the gloves off, so to speak? Is today the day that you're really going to run the 4 steps? Contact and invite. Get them to the presentation. Do a 3-way call and plug them in. I know you heard that over and over again, but are you really doing it every single day? Are you taking corrective massive action? Like we're the only company in the world that have what we have. Are you really doing that? Are you really building for the next call? Are you really doing 3-way confirmations? Did you really send out the downline videos that I asked everybody to send down today in the group meeting? Did you really have everybody on your team plugged in yesterday to your team go to broadcast? Will you have everybody on your team Thursday at 11 o'clock on the Dream Builder broadcast when the CEO and the vice president of the company addresses? Will you have your teams on there? Or will you just say, it's just another one, and another one, and another one? Ladies and gentlemen, every single minute that you're not sharing this business, the window of opportunity for you and your family gets smaller and smaller and smaller.